Welcome back to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. We got a great segment for you. It's called The Athlete and the Chef. So sit back, relax, and let's go. All right. Welcome back to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. This is an Athlete and the Chef show. Cornell, how you doing?
Good. Just a warning. I already told you, but I'll tell everyone else. The washing machine is on, and in 19 minutes, it's going to ding. So
I still don't hear it. I still don't hear it. So that's good. That's cool.
That's okay. But when it starts dinging and does that little sound, you're going to know
ding, 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 ding. Okay, cool. I asked you about the weather pre-show because we're coming into a specific time of year that I love, and I think anybody who listens to this show knows what I'm about to say. It's fall. It's autumn. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's the epicenter of cooking for me. So there's something in the air that just makes me want to cook. And so today I did what I call an ode to my chili. I sat down, I made chili, right? I sat down, and we're eating it. And I looked at Alana, I was like, every chili I make, regardless of the different variations that I try, it all has a very rooted signature flavor. And it's sweet on the top, and then at the back end, it's like this really nice, not habanero spice, but lingering spice, like a salsa spice almost.
Nice.
And I say an ode to chili because I don't know how many people actually know this or have been listening to this podcast long enough to know that the very first show I did on this podcast, Max Effort Kitchen, was a recipe of chili. And I will challenge anybody to go back and listen to it and see if they can get all the way through it. I'm really softly talking, and it sounds like, the SNL, the sweaty balls. Or is it salty balls? There's an SNL skit where it's Baldwin and two other women, and they're talking about their salty holiday balls that he makes, and they're talking really low and just kind of whispering, like a book club or something. And so it's like I've listened to it before, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? But then again, it was the first show. So, yeah, you gotta start somewhere.
First show is kind of like first weightlifting meet. People are like, I don't want to do it until I'm good enough. It's like, no, you want to do it when you're terrible, because it's only going to get better from here.
Isn't that the truth, man? It does get better. And, to the cooking, I had an itch today. I did a bunch of shopping, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start with chili. I'm going to keep it chili day. And we did that and served it. I like to serve it over rice. I did shredded cheddar, sour cream, and a bunch of Fritos on top. And man, you can't go wrong with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, that sounds great. We made today. So my parents have the same birthday.
Okay.
And it was on Friday. I didn't get the name of the. I have the recipe, but I don't have the name of what it's actually called.
I think I saw it online.
My mom's from Hungary. Mm-hmm. So it's this Hungarian cake where you create this dough, and it only takes an hour to make, and then it rises and all that kind of stuff. And then you roll it all out, and you make it into these long, skinny things, and then you wrap it around this wood dowel that's actually made for cooking over the fire.
Okay.
And then my brother-in-law, he welded up this whole barbecue contraption for this thing, because it's got like a metal rod, and it's basically like a rolling pin,
Mhm.
and you wrap it all in this dough, and then you cook it. You dunk it in sugar, and then you cook it over the fire, and then it caramelizes the outside, and it's like a cone. It's like I think it might be called like a cone cake or something.
Okay.
And then you take the whole thing off, and then it cools down. It's kind of like it's a caramelized cake cone, and then we filled it with ice cream and cinnamon sugar, and it was awesome. So that's what we did today.
Okay, I'm so glad you explained that, and I didn't just go into what I thought you were making, because I saw the dough. I saw you guys the long strands of dough, and then I saw it wrapped around the dowel, and it was on that like hibachi almost looking barbecue, right?
Yep.
I thought you were doing pigs in a blanket. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool doing it on the barbecue. But now that I just relooked at it, and given what you described, it makes way more sense.
If you zoom in on it, I mean,
yeah.
I know a lot of people can't really see this, but they're like really big. Where's that camera? I mean,
that's cool.
The wood log is enormous, and then here was a finished off.
See, that's the part I didn't get. I must not have got to that part, or thought, oh, that's just dessert.
I mean, it's
cool.
really good. It's a lot of work.
It looked like you had the whole family working.
Yeah, I mean, my brother-in-law, he was tending the fire for at least an hour, and then my sisters and my mom were making all the doughs, and it was fun. It was good. It was the best ones that I've ever had.
Nice.
And we've done it like 3 or 4 times. So yeah.
Now let me ask you a question about it. Is the preference or the let's see, the original technique to do it over fire, or is it best in an oven? Yeah. Okay. Over fire.
It's the contraption that we make it on is made to be like over fire.
Okay. That's cool.
So it probably could be pretty good if you just did it. I don't know how it would hold the shape in the oven.
Yeah.
So I actually think it could work pretty well just like over a really hot gas stove, probably.
That totally makes sense.
We've done it in the fire pit before. He made this box thing, the hibachi thing.
Okay.
So yeah,
Solid.
But one of the other things that I just found out today that's freaking delicious.
Okay.
They mix probably a much higher ratio of cinnamon to sugar for their cinnamon sugar recipe.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't nearly as sweet, but it was still sweet. But then I was taking ice cream and just dropping it in the bowl of sugar cinnamon and coating the whole thing. The cinnamon was kind of drying it out, but then it was still sticking to it, and it was like these cinnamon sugar ice cream balls. And I'm like, so good.
That's awesome. You put those on a stick and you could sell those, dude. It's just like that. That's a great idea. I like that. Speaking of ice cream, I went to Trader Joe's today, and everything they have is pumpkin now. It is exploding pumpkin in there, and I walked out with maybe some pumpkin cookies, but I was like, I almost bought pumpkin ice cream. I was like,
I thought you were gonna say like all their ice creams are pumpkin now. I'm like,
no, not all of it, but there was definitely 2 or 3 different variations of pumpkin ice cream. But yeah. Anyways, that ice cream, cinnamon sugar. That I'm gonna try that. That sounds great. Did you refreeze them, or were you just like balling them up, throwing them, and then eating them?
I was just literally. It wasn't. Nice. That wasn't the intent.
Nice. Okay.
I was the last one to go through, and the ice cream was almost gone. And it was one of those things where there's so little ice cream left in the container. I'm like, I kind of gotta finish it, but I really don't want to. It was because I already had like my dessert, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I was literally just taking scoops, dropping it in it, shaking it all around, and picking it up and eating it.
Nice. Okay. So I posted something yesterday. Okay, so let's talk about this picture. I posted this picture, and I'm going to see if I can bring it up on the screen. I think if I do this. Okay, this picture right here. I think Heather took this picture because I stole it from her, one of her reels. But there's something really cool about this picture, and I really like it. But aside from the fact that I guess I see how we look similar, but everybody was like, "You guys look like twins." But like this, I'm not going to get all like sappy and shit, but like the calmness between the two of us and the comfortability, man, I can't tell you that is, there's something about that because. I mean, you're sitting in the back room getting ready and it's a very intense moment, but like she captured a moment of very calm comfortability, which I thought was cool. Yeah. So I asked people to caption that. Let's see what they said. The funny thing is that everybody that captioned it already has Max Ever Kitchen swag. So I'll reach out to whoever I decide to talk to or whoever we pick or whatever. So let's go with the first one. This is from Konar Lifting. It says, so if I go back to 110, then can I get a free pizza each week from you? It's a good one. I like that. Yep. You absolutely can. Sherry Rulez says, oh, this is a controversial one. Why do you put pineapple on pizza? Because it's goddamn good. That's why. That's all I'm going to say about that. My lovely wife says, you think the judges would notice if you went out there and snatched for me and I went out and clean and jerked? It's a good one. I like that. Let's see what
that would be a very interesting thing to try.
I know.
Like
same singlet, everything, and then just like I slip behind the curtain and then slip back.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of a meet where they don't really know us. Like,
yeah. Here's the thing: is that I mean, you experienced this firsthand. That woman that told you to leave. Yep. She was like, I mean, standing in front of people's platforms as they were lifting, and she was very intently watching. I didn't see that any other session, and so I was like, "Oh, this is weird."
Okay.
Okay. Next one from Lifty After 50, Brent. He says, "You get pizza if you medal." Yeah, I mean, I get pizza regardless, but yeah, I like that. This one might be my favorite. This is from Damon, and all it says is boobs. Very appropriate, I think. Let's see. What are some of the other ones? One of them says, oh, this is from the Barbell Cairo. This is the guy that works on me every time I get hurt in the middle of a cycle. He said, if we get matching tattoos, do you think people would know or think we're the same person? So I'm gathering that people think we look alike. Oh, and then there was one other girl that commented just in the comments that said twinsies. So yeah.
What about the comment I said to you?
Which one did you say?
I didn't post it. I said it to you on Marco Polo in front of the guys.
I mean, that's the best one. Sorry.
Because I'm like, I just got to break the ice right now.
It was great, dude. I'm sitting there and I'm like putting on a shirt and I look down and Cornell's on the ground and he's filming me. He goes, I can see your balls. And then I watched it and I'm like, oh, you really can see my balls. So we're going to call that one the winner. Sorry, guys. But dude, that one was perfect. You did break the ice. And I even said in the moment, I was like, that's why he's so fucking crucial to have back here. Because every time I've ever lifted, there's always something, I think in Idaho, you were like, don't be a sissy or something like that. And it's needed. Like,
Yeah.
we all know, like, we can get too serious back there. And it's like, you need that little comic relief and help to break a little ice, and it was good shit all around. So that was fun. I thought I'd get a little bit more on that, but whatever. Recap of Worlds. I'm going to go pretty briefly because I think that most of the people that listen to this were probably at Worlds. I did meet a lot of people that were like, "Oh, I listen to your podcast all the time," and I was like, "Oh, cool, thank you." Overall, the meet was a pretty unique experience for me. I know that you've been to Worlds before. And I think that what I walked away from as a weightlifting meet, what I walked away from it was the fact that the ability to see the other cultures and countries and how they approach it and how they lift, and knowing that, yeah, there is a kind of an underlining tone of like how you do weightlifting. But I'll tell you, one of the funnest, most fun sessions to watch was this Lebanese guy in Konar's session. And I think I've told the story a couple times, but he had two coaches back there. One of them was probably 4'7", 80-year-old man. His shorts were below his knees, but his socks were pulled up above his knees type situation, wearing like Birkenstocks.
And this is in Konar's session.
Yeah, this is in Konar's session on
like
a week.
One of the people he's competing against?
Yeah, but this guy won the session.
Super old.
Yeah. Well, this was a coach that I'm explaining. That was a coach, right? And then you got this taller, kind of slender, skinnier coach that's a little younger, but a lot more intense because the little guy didn't say a word. And every time the lifter went down to touch the bar, snatch or clean and jerk, it was like this gradual, like they would say a word, then they would say 3 words, and then they would start yelling at him at the top of their lungs, and then he would lift. And I found that to be so cool. And I remember like kind of like reaching over and looking and talking to Heather and be like, I wonder if I would lift better if someone yelled at me like that. And she goes, I mean, I would love to have that speed, because the intensity of which that guy ripped the bar off the freaking ground was crazy. But it happened at every lift. I'm guessing they were saying the same thing. It was in a different language, so I didn't know what they were saying, but it was very loud and it was very intense. And I'm like, I love this. But the culture and the people that I got to meet from different countries was really neat. It felt bigger, and it felt like it was and I know it was bigger, and I know it was World, but yeah. Like in my mind, I still thought I was just going to a meet, like it was pretty intense. And I really, really like that aspect of it.
Nice. No, that was one of the funny parts as I got there, and I'm seeing everyone around and I'm hearing all the different languages, and I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I started smelling the non-deodorant, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is Worlds. I'm like, there it is. This is what the rest of the world smells like.
Yeah. Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. Dude.
Like you'd sit down and then you'd be like, I'm going to sit somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah. There were, go ahead.
No. I was going to say it was definitely a fun experience and a different format than last time, because last time it was in Florida and it wasn't nearly as indoors. Like this was one of those places in Vegas where you don't know what time it is, and you don't know if the sun's out or if it's dark or anything.
Yeah.
So this was definitely a different setup, but it was still really cool. So
yeah, I was going to ask you about that, about like in the comparison of it, how it compared to the last one you went to. And I mean, I'm going to guess that it was kind of the same as far as the competition, or maybe it was less or worse. I don't know. I would feel like if it was in Florida, there would probably be more people there, but I'm maybe not. But like, I guess as a comparison, you're saying that this one was the main difference was you couldn't see the sunlight.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, think about whenever you left the venue. Let's say you want to go to your room or you want to get food
Yeah.
or any of that kind of a thing. You're outside.
Yeah, that's true.
And the rooms in Florida, it was at a resort, and
Okay.
it was maybe 2 stories tall at tops.
Oh.
But for you to get potentially to your room could be a 15-minute walk.
Oh, wow.
So like you didn't necessarily want to go back and forth all the time. I mean, here it was it might have been 15 minutes, but you're waiting for the elevator and that kind of a thing. And then you just get up to the elevator, and depending on where you are compared to the elevator, you could be a 5-minute walk from the elevator. So
Yeah. And I think Vegas does kind of play on that, like, you don't know what time it is, kind of situation. And I just know that when I got down there, it was like, I think it was 102. And you walk into the hotel and it's cold. It is. And I forgot all about that. But yeah, it was the AC that's pumped through there. I don't know about you, but like when I get too much AC pumped at me, I have like all kinds of congestion, like weird stuff happen. And I had a little bit of that. But overall, man, I got to see everything from ex-Olympians to ballerinas from Japan lifting on the platform, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Was there anything you didn't expect that you saw, or that you noticed, or did, or
I didn't? I did not expect there to be as many ex-Olympians as I saw.
Yeah, that was a definite change from last time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his name. You'll probably be able to get his name better than I would, but the warm body cold mind, like, or whatever it is, like that guy. I doubled what, and I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, it, and I look at Connor, like, is that? And he goes, yeah. Oh, and like, like kind of nerding out a little bit. And I'm like, I'm so not the guy that walks up and asks to take pictures of people. And I didn't do it. So I'm like, but like, how cool would that be to have a picture with that guy? I don't know. I would imagine he probably shows up to other meets in this country. I don't know. I buy his thumb tape.
He comes to big events. I remember him at the CrossFit Games. He jerked like 250 something, and
nice. Nobody
really knew what that was. They just were like, "Oh, European guy did a push jerk."
Yeah, the guy that was in my session from Hungary, also an ex-Olympian, but I talked to him right before I was weighing in, and just a really genuine, like, I come to lift weights, very excited about this. And I'm like, cool, man.
I think he's their coach now.
Oh, really?
I heard someone talking in that he's the current coach of the Hungarian team.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, it's, I think that's probably the thing I didn't realize it was going to happen. I'll say the one thing I was bummed out about, and this is really petty, but when I got my medals, I didn't get my medals from a showgirl, and I'm going to write a strongly worded email to them and be like, "That's crap."
Yeah.
My session
wasn't in the budget.
Yeah, they're like, "Sorry, your session's at 9:00 at night. You can't get that. They're working."
Yeah, their normal job.
Yeah, exactly. On stage. No, I would say overall it was a super fun experience. Went way too quick. It felt like I was being shuffled around a little bit at times. I got to spend some really good time with Joe, which I think I appreciated a lot, because although he's my coach and we talk twice a week, probably, I've just never really spent like one-on-one time with him. And I think, you've had that with Stephanie, and you see her, 3, 4, 5 days a week sometimes. It's always something I've really I don't want to say the word jealous, but I've always wanted to get to. And so that was kind of fun. He opened up about he talked to me about the smoking of the doobies and how he was pretty much asked to like, bro, you can't just do this anywhere. I'm like, yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Joe, but he was a really genuine guy, and I really appreciated that, and being able to spend that time with him was cool. What about yourself? I mean, we definitely hung out, but we kind of we're like this. And I will say, I should have planned better. I don't know what I was thinking. I wanted to be there for your session, but then I was like, I'm leaving on Wednesday. Shit. So yeah, apologies for that. But what about you?
I will say I didn't know there was I don't want to say this right now because I think it'd be funnier if I explain what was going on in my head.
Okay.
So day 2, I walk up to Ryan and I'm just like, have you noticed how many people there are here with like one leg? And he's like,
I know where you're going.
Yeah.
With this. Yeah.
They've got the adaptive CrossFit thing going on this weekend. I'm like, oh, that makes so much more sense. Because I saw a handful of people in wheelchairs. And it's like, it's Vegas. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But seeing people with like, I swear I saw like 24 people with missing a leg or a foot or something. I'm just like, what's going on?
Dude,
like this is not the norm to see.
Am I at the right competition?
Yeah. And then once he said, yeah, there's the adaptive thing going on, I'm like, oh, this makes so much more sense now.
Yes. So, yeah. I will say I don't know if it was funny or not, but I was in an elevator and it was me and Konar. There was a guy in a wheelchair, a little Asian woman, and like a CrossFit guy holding a box. And the guy's like, man, I'm so tired. Or no, he walks on and he goes, man, I'm so tired. And he goes, and the wheelchair guy looks up and goes, why didn't you take the stairs? And he goes, man, because I worked a 15-hour day. And he goes, well, at least you can walk. Dead silence in there, dude. Like, do we laugh at that? Was he joking? I don't know, because he said it pretty sternly, and I'm like, get out of this elevator.
There was even like we went to this other gym called the Strip Barbell.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
There was 2 people in there with one leg, and I'm like, they're just everywhere.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought that I thought all of that was going to be going on at the same time kind of situation. Cause I was like, oh, is this going to be like kind of like a mini, I don't know, quote unquote Arnold, where they're doing like a CrossFit thing and they're doing a strongman thing or whatever. But it was all separate for the most part. Yeah. I mean, there was some mingling.
Well, that was definitely a bummer, is like everyone's waiting around in like the hallway, especially once you left. Cause that's when they opened up all the other side. They opened all the walls up and you could see in there, and it was like super cool looking.
Heck yeah.
But they weren't letting anyone in unless you paid to go in.
Yeah.
And Ryan wanted to go in and buy some stuff, and they're like, not without you have to pay to get in to go pay for stuff. It's like,
you got to pay to get in that? Come on.
Yeah, you had to pay to get in. And it's like, he's got a coach's badge. He's obviously here at the thing, and he just wants to go buy some t-shirts, and they wouldn't let him in. So,
man, I tried to give Ryan a little bit of hell about cutting his hair. I don't think he appreciated it, so I just walked away. But it was fun. There was something I was just thinking of, but I forgot what it was. So I don't know. The whole competition was great. It was just such a great experience. I will say that I am not like most people. Maybe not. I think you're probably similar to this, but like I was hearing talks about Greece before I even got there to Vegas.
Yeah.
They're like, I saw somebody here in Portland And they're like, yeah, are you, when are you going down? I was like, I'm going down Sunday. And they're like, oh, well, I'm not gonna be down till Wednesday. And then she starts talking about Grease Worlds. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Greece? And she goes, oh, that's where the next Worlds is next year. And I'm like, oh God, I got to get through this first. Like,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of people where this is their baby. This is their life. This is all they do.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's cool. I think once you get kind of older, it gives you something to kind of a trip to go on every year.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this was hard enough to get here. And this was a 4.5 hour drive from my house.
Dude, I'm with you on that because I would say I was the most prepared with this, but dude, I started in June, making a list and just checking everything off and like making sure I got everything. Boy, I don't want to calculate up how much money I spent to get there. That's what I was going to say earlier. The money I spent to get there was one thing. I do have one gripe, and you talked about this as well, and you were frustrated. I mean, I'll let you speak for yourself, but why are we charging for the live feed? And that's, to me, I'm like, man, I get they probably paid somebody to do it. I totally understand that. But I know that you were saying something about how they weren't going to charge for that anymore because the ticket prices were a little bit more expensive.
Yeah,
is that what it was?
They let us vote on it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened over the last few years, but yeah, I think I heard that they said it was about 10 grand and you were like, it's not 10 grand. But what I don't think we talked about is the reason it's 10 grand is it's 10, 12 days. Mm-hmm. It's 2 cameras. Yeah, it might not be 10 grand for you to do it. But if someone was like, hey, I need to hire you with all of your cameras and additional labor because it's 2 different platforms to do all this, that's why it's 10 grand. So
I understand that.
Yeah, $500 or $1,000 a day for 2 different people with all the. So I get it, but it's also like it doesn't have to be that. You could freaking stream the thing on Instagram.
Well,
that's realistically enough. People will People will log in. They'll figure it out. That's what we used to do at our local meets, and everyone was super stoked on it.
They'll do it. And I know there's a handful of, Ironside here does that, because there was at one point where he was like, hey, I'd like you to come in and do this for us. And then I was like, well, what are you looking for? And he was like, just streaming. I was like, stream it on your phone. Yeah. It's so much easier. You just set it and forget it. Like, that's it. I go, if you ever do something bigger, let me know. But
we were doing that back at Double Barrel in 2018.
I know. Yeah.
Also, you use Wi-Fi, and a bunch of like battery powered things for your phone to keep it alive.
Yeah. Well, and and most hotels you can buy a singular Wi-Fi signal that only goes to that phone. I mean, that's what I do for the WSO is I have my own Wi-Fi connection. And so hotels will do that. And dude, you just have a power strip and have your phone plugged in. I had mine. I mean, this right here. This is an iPhone like 12. And that's what I did one of the platforms on last year. And it ran for 14 hours. It was fine. So yeah, it's, that's not really my rant or anything, but I did something with your session, and if you go to our YouTube channel, the Max Ever Kitchen YouTube channel, you can see Cornell's whole session if you want, because I bought it and then I was like, I know how to screen share on this, and I just opened this up to a live stream and then stream shared your thing. And I was like, this is great. And then people were commenting on it, and it was great. It was cool. I was like, I hope nobody gets pissed off that I'm doing this, but I'm doing it. So
whatever. You paid them.
I did pay them. And I also pay this freaking platform. So, I figured I'd pay enough people. Yeah. I guess the one thing I kind of wanted to touch on, and I touched on this a bunch in the 2 posts that I made, but in reflection of an experience like this, it's really, to me, and it didn't hit me until really I was walking into the airport to leave, which is the fact of how many people around one singular person it takes to do something like this. And like, I think you can, I have no doubt in my mind that one singular weightlifter could probably go to this meet and figure out maybe someone to help them with cards and be done and great. But I just don't think it would be the same experience. I don't think there would be the same success level. And I don't think it would work out in the long run if that was a big time thing. And I've publicly said thank you to everybody, but like, holy crap. I'm a middle child, Cornell. And when I get attention and it's so like noticeable attention to that point or to that level, it really hits me. And it's crazy because like, I don't know how to accept it necessarily. But I'm so freaking thankful for it. And so it's just like, it blows me away every time. And I think I was telling Heather, I was like, man, Brett and Konar went to the Hoover Dam the day I was lifting. And Heather's like, no, I'll stay here with you. And like, I just thanked her. I was like, you could have easily gone, or you could go done your own thing, but you like hung out with me and we talked. And like, that was, to me, that is like something that'll stick in my heart forever, stuff like that. The things that you do for me in the background or in everyday life, but like in the back room, like that shit sticks in my heart. And like, and I know why you're doing it. And it's like, it's so, I don't know how to take it at the moment. And so I'm like, I just, to me, it's like the success is really put on the community of the people you have around you. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. No, I've done a handful of these meets where you travel, like you look at it as a business trip and you just show up, you hit your numbers and you leave. Yeah. And you may ask for a couple of favors from people. I mean, Pan Am's, that's kind of how it was. Joe offered to run my cards. I'm like, sure, that'd be awesome. Yeah. But literally 48 hours there. Yeah. And it's a complete different experience than this. Like, this is the type of a thing where you have those relationships that you're building, and that you're not necessarily turning in favors, but you're getting help from other people. And then at the same time, you're helping them. So just as they are there for you, you are there for them. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that that's just the type of a thing where it takes it away from being the individual sport to like why this is a team. Yeah. And like how much better you can be if you have the team and you have the like the support of everyone else around you. So yeah, it's I unfortunately witnessed a lifter there where their coach didn't show up for them. They're trying to get, their wife or girlfriend is loading for them, and they don't have any of their teammates around them. And I'm just like, to me, I know the lifter because we have now competed against each other in a couple meets, and when we talked afterwards, I was like, man, that was some bullshit. Like you need people around you. And he probably could have done about 10% better if he would have had the team or at least a coach there to support him. Like, his coach should have been there. And like, a world competition. And when he showed up the day before, I like shook his hand and I was like, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you again. And we knew we were going to be in the same session. And it was like, and then I watched him and he went over and hung out with his teammates. So his teammates were there. And so I was like, man, I genuinely felt bad for the guy. But then again, he's a competitor. So I'm like, you know what? That's ain't nothing I'm going to do about it. But, sucks to be him. I just think that when you have a situation like that, open your eyes,
look at the people around you, like look at what's going on. And this, not that I've ever questioned if I'm in the right spot and around the right people, but this was just another like kind of check mark of like, this is the right place to be. And boy, I couldn't have felt any more secure about that, walking away from that experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything you'd have done different?
I would have made my first opening snatch.
When you missed that, I leaned over to Heather and goes, he's just trying to muscle through it. He needs to work with the bar, not just move the bar.
Yeah. Joe looked at me and he goes, why the fuck don't you squat? And then Matt Konar was like, hey, get under the bar. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And Joe was, here's what I like about Joe. He goes, I'm going to make you make that before I let you move on. And I'm like, hey, I get it. Yep. And I know that's my punishment. I don't understand it.
Yep.
And then when I made it, I was like, can we go to 105? And he goes, no. All right, cool. Whatever. I didn't even know, like, when I didn't know anything that was going on. Like I missed my last clean and jerk and I didn't know what was happening. Came off the stage. Konar's like, well, you got silver in clean and jerk and bronze in total. And I'm like, it was a pretty emotional moment. I couldn't fucking believe that happened because it was not expected. And boy, like I have this thing where I'm just like, is Konar that good? What he does? And that's just an insecurity. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you want to go through anything that you did?
Sure.
How your experience was? Yeah.
I can give a flyover really quick.
Cool.
I've made this comment before to a lot of people who are like, oh, what are you going to hit? And I'm like, as much as I can. How do you feel? We'll find out.
Yeah.
And I've talked to people and I've said, well, you're either going to peak the week before, the day of, or the week after.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly when it's going to happen. And you're just doing your best to mitigate injury and just get through it. My body decided to fall apart literally the morning I woke up.
No.
So I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. I might have narrowed it down to one or two things that were definitely out of the ordinary, but I didn't think I overdid anything. When we went to that gym the day before, I was trying to find a leg press and they had all these funky machines. And I was like, well, this looks like something I could try. And I loaded like 2 plates, 2 45-pound plates. And it was like maybe a hack squat or something like that. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. I did 1 squat. I'm like, that's not going to throw my whole back out. So I went down to 1 plate and I'm like, this feels just as bad. So I did a total of 2 squats. One of them had 2 plates and the other one had 1 plate. And that was it. And then I had unracked 405 pounds onto my back and held it for 5 seconds. Nothing that should throw my back out.
No.
Next morning I woke up and I'm like, it'll work through. I'll work through this.
Right.
And every hour it was worse and it was tighter and more painful.
Dude.
And then made weight, went and got in the ice bath to try to like chill everything out and didn't do anything. Came down there, started lifting. I was like, all right, I can make it through this. So, but it was getting worse and worse, unfortunately, and ended up making my opener in the snatch. Then I jumped up, missed the first one out front, just wasn't patient with it. Tried to fix what I needed to fix, did it again on the second, caught it, felt my adductor pull. So the combination of probably wasn't able to use my back the way that I do with lifting.
Right.
And then I got buried and shifted to the side. And I just felt that adductor just not pop, but just like that stab of the knife, like right on that inner thigh, right by your nuts. And I was like, oh no. And like, it's not one of those things where you can like miss the lift and stand up. It's like you shoot and you twist around a little bit. And
Yeah.
I knew what I had to do. I knew how to wrap it. I knew everything. Within a minute and a half of me being off the stage, I was in just, thankfully I wore my snatch shorts underneath my singlet so I could take my whole singlet off
Yeah, totally.
and wrap up and do all this stuff and put my singlet back on. And then that basically just, I did a clean at 70 kilos and it blew me out. And like,
Really?
I couldn't stand it up. Like, I
Holy
mean,
shit.
I caught it and I had to just push the bar away. And I was like, all right, I can't use my back because I was going to power. I'm like, I'll just power everything. And I'm like, I can't pull and be strong with my back right now because it's literally getting tighter and tighter with every second that passes.
Mhm.
So I changed my opener from 150 down to 141 just because it was at 140. And then I went out, took that lift, had to catch really weird, made a total. Looked at the board. Actually, I did look at the board prior to this. I'm like 13 kilos ahead of third place. So
Right.
I don't think anyone's going to be doing that much more. So I was just going to maintain that lead and pressed out the second one and then didn't even make the clean on the third because, again, everything was getting tighter and slower and weaker. And then it was just like this real big bummer. But
Yeah.
I went up to my main competition he hit a 135 snatch and I basically congratulated him and I told him I'm going to salvage what I can and go for second, but
Yep.
I'm not playing games and you hit what you need to hit to get the biggest total that you can and good luck.
That
So,
see, and I've heard the last part of that story, and dude, I love that. Like, you weren't out there to like, take a dude down. You were out there to compete with him. But then when you were like, you know what, I'm not going to compete. Hey, buddy, go fucking hit some weight right now because you got a basically a wide open road, and that's that's cool, dude. That's sportsmanship.
Yeah, but it was like one of those. I burned his clock too. And like on the snatches.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're still competing. Cause I was like, I'm still going to give it everything.
Yeah.
Until the actual like groin injury happened.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
But I told him like, sorry, dude, but it's Worlds. And he looked at me, goes, I would have burned your clock. It's Worlds.
It's Worlds, dude. But yeah. I mean, you do what you got to do. And that's the thing is like, I got to be honest, like hearing that story, I wrote down, one word, and that word is resilience. And we all know, like, we know who you are. We know what kind of lifter you are, but like, at a big meet like that, at something like Worlds, where you just knew what to do, and that you've said it a couple times in that story. You're like, I knew where to do this. I knew what to do this, and I had this on, and like, the resilience that comes with your experience of lifting, boy, I think a majority of people would have melted down in that situation. Would have been like, what do I do? Like, and scratched out or something, like
it was the type of a thing where if this was a local meet, I would have, I might not have even competed.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
It was one of those things where I'm like, it's not worth it, but I'm like, I've been here for 4 days.
I got to do something. I mean, I text you that morning and you're like, I'll do my best.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I was like, all right, cool. But you still took second place.
Yeah.
That's still
it was
badass.
It was one of those bummers because like, I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast, but I've got some health things going on and I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow and I don't know what that is exactly going to entail. I'm sure we'll talk about it and we'll figure some stuff out. I'm going to redo some blood work later this week. I'm taking the whole week off so that I can try to
good.
see what some levels are when I'm not literally training for a world competition and cutting weight and eating massive amounts of protein and getting body work done and being dehydrated and then getting blood work done. So
exactly.
But I knew that if I made my third clean and jerk, I was going to probably end up just retiring right there, doing the whole shoe thing. But I'm like, I'm not taking my shoes off when I just missed a freaking clean.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
totally.
not how I'm going down. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens in the future. But
Yeah.
it was just one of those like I was still, I'm fine. I'm getting through it, but it's like I'm still not through the bummer of the whole situation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like I haven't posted any of like my lifts leading up to this. Like I've totaled 290 to 300 multiple times in the last like 2 months leading up to this. Unofficially snatched the world record. But I had full intent of like where my jumps were planning on being was for me to make at least an attempt at the world record.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't even get past my opener, which
sucks.
It's just one of those like mentally stupid things.
So. Yeah, it is. And I think that maybe that's life's way of saying you got a little bit left in the tank, and there will be a better meet for you to put those shoes on the platform.
Yeah,
and maybe a more successful meet for you. I may or may not have been having a text conversation with 3 other people about during your session, and one person asked, "Did he put his shoes on the platform?" I said no, and we all were like, "Yes." So there was that. Man, I mean, overall, you are one to be looked up to because of that story right there, if not anything else. So it's like these kind of things happen. This is just part of the sport. You gotta adjust. Yeah. You gotta be flexible. You got to adapt to the shit that happens. It is what it is, and that just shows your resilience and your athletic ability. And that's.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my session was a freaking bloodbath of injuries. There was like 4 people. I mean, I don't know if you saw one of the guys. I forgot what place he got. He got a medal. I don't remember what it was for.
Okay.
He could barely get up on the podium.
Really?
He got a second place in something.
Okay.
Probably no third.
Was it the other bald guy with the goatee?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
No, that guy bombed out.
Oh, he did.
And then no, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. It was I don't remember, but he was like, he could barely walk. And then there was another guy in the back who there was like 3 or 4 injuries that were like not major, but like I looked like the least injured.
Wow, dude. That's crazy. That's a crazy one. Well, we're 52 minutes in. But dude, yeah, it was a great time. Overall, good show. Appreciate you coming on here and talking about it. And, I think the more we get to talk about these situations, the more that maybe people will hopefully learn and go and take out there and apply. So everybody, thank you for listening. Cornell, thank you for being here like always. And adios.
Bye.